What up, ladies and gentlemen? Here with another awesome interview. I'm very excited for this one. This is an artist part of a band that I've admired for a very long time with numerous incredible releases and a very interesting Instagram profile, which I absolutely love because it just fits in with, my whole humor. And then with, heavy metal coming out, this incredible album, which I got to listen to early and like it is mind blowing. It's absolutely incredible. So, Mr. Cameron Winter, how you doing? Thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah, no problem. What's going on?
I'm down here in Atlanta, just kind of, you know, it's going. Where you
What's
at?
going on? I'm in Brooklyn in New York in a very
Beautiful.
dark room.
Kind of looks like actually it's kind of the opposite of the album cover with the lights and everything.
That's true, yes.
But yeah,
I bet.
speaking of the album, I mean, this is absolutely incredible, man. Like beautiful, heartbreaking, perfect fall album. It's definitely up there with like I think some of the best albums of the year. Like it is damn good. So I really got to applaud you on that. And I think one of my favorite parts is like I'm a violin player and getting to see violins and horns and just like a whole cacophony of like crazy sounds in the album, like a in the best way possible, like a kind of like a schizophrenic head. Like there's a bunch of crazy things going on, and I love it. It is perfect and beautiful. Um, so yeah, my first question would be, right? You already have one or two solo dates out. Am I gonna be able to see this in Atlanta? Are you gonna do a tour of this?
Maybe. I have no idea, honestly. I mean, we'll see what demand is like. I think the prevailing attitude is probably not. I mean, I kind of knew that going in, but um, I mean, hell, we'll see. We'll have to see, won't we?
For
See
sure.
what happens.
I really hope this gets like the Jordy Griep reaction with his solo album like completely blowing up because I think this definitely deserves it, dude. Like I need to see this live.
Well, thank you, but I think it would probably help the campaign if I dissolved Geese effective immediately. I think that had something to do with the skyrocketing.
Oh yeah, and you got to
Yeah,
do like a
that's not good.
like one word Instagram post, nothing more, nothing less. Let everyone go crazy. That's how you do it right
Yeah,
there. That'd be
yeah,
absolutely
totally.
perfect.
Yeah.
And so, do you think you want to continue like your solo project and put out some more albums, or do you think this is like a one and done kind of thing?
I have no idea, honestly. You know, with the band, I think we're always sort of looking towards the next thing after we're done with the one thing. But I think in this case, that the album took a lot out of me. So we'll see if another one comes. It'll probably be a little while at the very least.
Hmm. Well, yeah, I mean, I can imagine it. It's very emotionally draining in the best possible way, and I can definitely tell how you put your all into it, man. And I can applaud that for sure.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, man. And let's say you do another album, right? Let's say it's like 5 years. You got a family. Geese is the biggest band in the world, and you want to do another
Sure.
album. What type of do you want to keep it in like the folk sensibility? And I know it's kind of hard to tell now, but let's say you put yourself in that space where you would be maybe. What type of genre do you think you may want to go into?
Mm, hard to say. Maybe I'll just want to do something like full of jump shots or something like that. Something that'll just be, like easy to do. Maybe some just like sort of real simple piano songs. That's appealing to me after this album. This record ended up being kind of more high concept than I'd anticipated. I kind of went in being like, I'm gonna make like a half-hour record full of some piano ballads, and then uh, it kind of I kind of spiraled out because I listened to it and I was like, I can't put this out. I can't put my name on this, etc. I freaked out a little.
I don't know, but I mean, I'm very thankful that you kind of revised, even though I'm sure the original thing was also damn good. Like, this is like like I have to keep saying it. It's incredible, you know, and going through the each individual track, and some of them are really kind of groovy, some of them are really just plain old sad, and then it's like one. I think it's the second to last, or the third to last track is like just loud as hell,
Yeah.
and it's so good, dude. Like it really is like a fall record. It's a snowy record, but at the same time, it's kind of uh my girlfriend at 8 years broke up with me kind of record. And it's like you're
Hmm.
looking into the future. And so,
Yeah.
with the future of Geese too, does that mean that after Geese Fest, which looks awesome, after that you're gonna kind of take it slow and then start writing again?
Well, I mean, with Geese, you actually, you call me while, I mean, this is what I do when I'm working on Geese stuff. I just sort of hole up in my room and listen to music, walk around all day listening to music, and then try and see if I have any good ideas, or go into like a notebook and see if I ever wrote down anything cool. And then I just, try and get myself to like record into my computer or something like that. I mean, that is how Geese songs get written ultimately. So I've been doing that for the last couple of months, really passively for the last year. Um, and it's getting somewhere. We'll be recording the Geese album pretty soon.
Always working, huh? It's crazy to me. And with the King Gizzard tour, because I got to interview Lucas, the King Gizzard, 3 days ago, because it's my birthday yesterday, and then for my birthday gift, I decided I'm gonna make sure I get into this concert for free one way or another, and I got an interview. So I mean, that was like insane, right? And you got to tour with an insane band. How was that
Yeah.
experience, man? Like what? I think 15 or so dates.
Well, first I gotta ask, how was your interview with Lucas? How'd that
Man,
go?
it was crazy. Like I'll send you the pictures afterwards. They gave me like a whole ass room backstage. I'm DIY. I do this shit myself. No one helps me with this. My friend gave me this mic. This is my dad's computer. Like I don't have anything. I mean, like, you know what I mean. And getting to that big level was insane. Like they think I'm a real person. They think I'm a journalist, which is like it's beautiful to think about that I've gotten this far, and I'm looking forward to like whatever happens next. You know, like talking to
You
you,
know,
man. It's crazy.
well, um, I think I had a similar experience with the band had a similar experience opening for King Gizzard because how old are you? 15 now? Happy birthday.
15 yesterday. Yeah, man. Appreciate it.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. I mean, when we were 15, we would listen to King Gizzard. We would just be in our room doing, get up to no good, sort of having the computer on, listening to all this music, and it was just a million miles away, all these people, and then to meet them and have them, you know, like what you're doing enough to include you in whatever they're doing is really, really, really cool. It's like the best part of making music that you're proud of, You get to exchange these you get to be a part of this world that was once completely super distant and impossible to get to.
It makes you feel like you're kind of at the top of the world, honestly. And I agree. I mean, I had the same experience, listening to all these incredible bands. I bought tickets to see King Gizzard when they announced everything, and I got like really bad tickets because they're super expensive. And just I was happy to go, honestly. And then I kind of made the decision that I really don't want to. The family is going through some times, and I was like, do I really want to be spending $60 on tickets to the show? No. Like I love as much as I love the band, that's like a lot of money. So I decided to let that go for a little bit, and then just kept building this up. And I totally agree, man. It's crazy to think about it. Like I can call up Partisan Records right now, like your record label. Like I could have never done that a year ago. And I'm sure you had those
Yeah.
same experiences. It's diabolical to think about, man. It's like you can't even wrap your head around it. But did
How do
did
you
you enjoy it?
the tour?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the tour was really great. I mean, it's about as well as you could expect an opening tour to go, frankly. Like,
Nice, nice.
I mean, we've done a couple of those opening tours. and they're sort of, it's whereas your own show is sort of like it feels like a victory lap. Like the whole point of the album is, or not the whole point, but you try and get people to buy tickets to your show and enjoy it. And they're probably going to enjoy it if they bought tickets to it. Not a lot of people are going to your show just to like see some random band. Most of them are just going to see you. But when you're opening, you kind of are in advertising mode. You're supposed to get people on the wagon, and that can be a little stressful, and not quite as fun, and definitely not as glamorous as a headline tour. However, um, this King Gizzard tour was great because people who go to King Gizzard shows go to a lot of King Gizzard shows, and whereas at the beginning no one really knew who we were, by the end, people had sort of uh, hopped on the Geese train a little bit, and we could have people like singing our songs and stuff like that, and bringing signs and buying shirts and stuff like that, and it felt a little bit like our show too. Some small percentage of it did belong to us, and we were doing it together. And that's really all you can hope for in an opening show is that it feels like you're important. Because most of the time people are just fucking waiting for you to be done, so they could get what they paid for. And it usually didn't feel like that, which is fantastic.
That kind of pisses me off the most at shows is when like people just shit on the openers and everything, especially when it's like a local band and it's like
Mhm.
people that I love and people that I know a lot of people in the crowd love, but a lot of people are just kind of acting like aristocrats, like Marie
Mm,
Antoinette for no reason. Like there's no point in being like pessimistic and pissy about it, but a lot of people are, and that's just kind of sad. But I think I agree. I saw I saw a Reddit post being like, "Who are these geese guys, and why are they so damn good?" on the Gizzard thing, and I mean, it was beautiful, man. It's like you're spreading the word, and I think that's a little bit of a victory. Maybe not as much as a victory lap, but definitely,
Sure.
definitely a win, man. Like you're converting them.
No, we felt um we felt a very warm welcome from the King Gizzard people. And the King Gizzard guys themselves are like fantastic. Fantastic dudes, every one of them.
For sure. And like their tour manager, Jess, like they're all just
Yeah.
beautiful people and so down to earth and real. Like she was waiting for us backstage at the door and like, they're so helpful, so nice. Probably one of the nicest, management people I've had to work with. It's
Hmm.
absolutely beautiful. And I'm looking forward to, more geese. Hopefully, yeah, another tour. Even though I need y'all to take a little bit of a break, it's a lot, but another tour would be pretty
No,
hype.
no, no. No, I mean, I'm willing to do it, man. I'm willing to do it
Hell
all.
yeah.
I
And
don't
then
care.
I'll lend my services, right? Because I do violin and like
Oh yeah.
I'm like in violin. Like I did the competitions and shit every year. So listen, if you need some strings, man, hit me up. I got you.
Sure
Free of
thing.
charge.
Sure
Free
thing.
of charge, man.
Free of charge. Oh no, we'll give you some bus fare. There's
Yeah, oh yeah, bus a bag of Cheetos and like a half-used pack of cigarettes. All I need. Perfect.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
All right, so now a little bit more on topic, right? Or your publicist's gonna get on my ass. You guys had
It's
that.
fine. Don't worry about them.
Well, you had like you made Justin Bieber's Baby. I remember that was on like the headlines everywhere. Like it was legitimately really funny to see like Fantano freaking out about this cover and like saying it's really good. You giving it 10 out of 10 or whatever. That was a couple maybe a year whatever in the past. Do you think you
Mhm.
want to, make a record full of covers, just like most random, from like Yo Gabba Gabba cover to like Mariah Carey?
It'd be fun. We've discussed it before. We just always kind of get distracted with our own stuff. We did that cover because I forget what it was a part of, but some like company was giving us money to do it. So we just went in. We were gonna do some song that made more sense, and at the last second, I was like, "That's we should do this instead." And everyone sort of relented. Remember, no one was having a very good time making that song, actually. It was kind of a me decision, and I was just like, everyone do this. They were like, fine, you know.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it worked out. I'm a little nervous though because the people really do like that song, but our music is getting kind of at this point, the new stuff especially is getting very, very far away from that. So I hope this doesn't you know, trap we don't mislead too much with that,
Yeah,
you
the
know.
Justin Bieber fans are gonna come with like pitchforks and signs and torches. They're gonna knock down your house, man. It's gonna track you down. No,
Yeah.
but I mean, I'm looking forward to more experimental music, like especially because I think 24 has been a really good year for music, on all levels with like metal, with I don't want to say indie, but like softer music with your record with Jordy. Just it's been a damn good year, and I think 25 is going to be even better, honestly. Because a lot of these bands that I've been talking to at least are amped, and this is kind of like the appetizer to the main course, which will
Hmm.
be next year or the year after. And I know with King Gizzard with another album, but that orchestra album kind of being like a wedding cake, like a
Hmm.
big big thing. And I mean, I'm excited, man. If the Geese record is anything like you make it out to be, it's gonna be incredible, man, for sure.
Well,
And with new records and with press for these records, you always got to do like interviews. You got to do shows and whatever. Would you guys ever consider doing a tiny desk?
oh, I wouldn't count on it, honestly. Last I heard, I mean, I'm not up to date on these things, but I think one of us asked our manager at one point, like, what about a tiny desk? Would we ever do one of those? And it was just like, this one guy at NPR fucking hates you guys. Like, thinks it's the dumbest music in the world.
That's so
Uh,
funny, dude. That can be your
so we
merch.
were
That
like,
can be
oh
merch.
God. I don't know how true that is anymore. Maybe he's come around, but I think the headline was someone at NPR does not like Geese and is hell bent on never letting us do a tiny desk.
Dude, I love
So
that.
maybe it won't happen. I don't
All
know.
right, this is what I'm thinking, right? You get a long sleeve shirt, Geese on the front, in the back. This one guy at NPR fucking hates us. I mean, that's it right there. Like that would sell out in an instant. You know,
Yeah.
you, world dominance. I mean, that's so good, dude. That's perfect. It's not even like a scheduling issue or like, you know,
Oh no, no,
not a
it's
size
just
issue. It's
sheer,
just
it's just sheer
yeah.
apathetic dislike of our
Yeah.
music, I think.
Brian in marketing just hates us, man. That's, I love that.
Yeah, it's okay. It's all right.
No, that's funny though. I mean, that's honestly kind of better than like a tiny desk, Like that story saying there's this one dude that hates us. That's beautiful. And do you guys think you would ever do? I know a lot of smaller bands will do like living room tours and like just these kind of maybe like a 3 day, just the craziest venues ever, like below a bridge.
Mm.
Like would you ever do some kind of crazy DIY tour like that in the future? I know y'all are getting really big now, but that would be pretty sick. That's like even better than a tiny desk.
You know, we do like doing those shows. I don't know if we do a whole tour like it, but we'd probably enjoy throwing some weird ones in there as we get more flexibility with how we want to tour, you know. Because up till now, we've kind of just been like, if we don't tour exactly like this, we will lose $100,000. So they're just like, you need to stay exactly within this confines if you're going to make a dime off of anything. So you gotta stay doing it. I don't know.
Well, that's the good thing about at least, you're getting bigger and you have more space. Like I appreciate that. I was super surprised because when you played Atlanta, I think you played the Masquerade and you played like the small second to smallest room there or something, which is like crazy because you guys are like big, like especially in the scene. But I guess there's more there's a bigger scene out there other than just like this weird niche that like five people at my school listen to. So
Mhm. No, it is weird. It's this whole sort of internet nerd rock scene that
yeah.
has blossomed, and when you really, some of these bands are so constantly present on like, meme pages and on what's call it,
Rate your music.
Reddit, rate your music, stuff like that. That when you suddenly take a step back and like look at the whole world, you realize how fucking minuscule this niche actually is. These bands like us even can seem like really visible, and I guess we are comparatively, but in the wider world, no one's heard of, Black MIDI or Black Country New Road really, like
No
or
one
Geese
gives a
or anything.
shit.
No one really gives a shit. But that's okay. I think most people haven't heard of most people, besides, those who can enter the mainstream through
Yeah.
whatever stroke of luck or genius or whatever. Um,
No,
that's just
yeah.
how the world is now.
But honestly, it makes my life it makes my life a little bit easier as an interviewer because like I've gotten 3 members of Swans on the show so far, counting on another 4, or another 2 or 3. Black MIDI or not Black MIDI, Black Country New Road's gonna be on the show in like February. Jordy Greep is gonna hopefully if I can catch him in his Atlanta date, if my mom will let me. But like it makes it so much easier on like I think press like the small guys because we can
Uh-huh.
actually catch you guys. Like some of these massive bands, it's there's no scope. I emailed like Metallica and Grateful Dead's managers, and one of them said like no, like one word no, and that's it. And the sent
Mm,
and it's like sent from your iPhone, which is it makes it even worse. But like I love how people are dedicated in this field, no matter how minuscule or like completely dumb it is, it's like a little family,
yeah.
man? Like it's a little group of
Yeah.
weirdos. I love it.
Yeah, well, those I'm surprised you've been able to get some of the people that were on your show. I mean, kudos to you, man. I mean, I think a lot of people just don't know where to start, but you're going for the management, you're going for the publicists, you're sending the
Yeah.
emails. That's the way to do it.
Well, I mean, it's the same thing. It's like I think it's the same with musicians, right? It's the fact that I didn't want to spend like I think it's $40 a year for IMDb Pro, where it'll tell you the managers and shit, and I'm not paying
Mm,
that. Like you will not.
mhm,
You can put a gun to my head. I'm not paying $40. And I was like, well, I'll just figure it out, man. And I think that really helped me because I can. It's easier, and I know what to do, and I don't need other people. Like I don't. No one relies on me, and I don't rely on anyone else. It's like the one man operation. And the next goal, it's like with the band, the next goal is just making money. Because if I can make
mhm,
money in like even like $20 a month, then that's Chili's right there. You know, that's like I can get a Burger King and get myself like a Whopper, and that's
mhm.
lunch. So
Yeah,
it's steps at a time, man. But
one
I
Whopper at
appreciate
a
it.
time. Yes, yes.
Another
That's
piece of
how
merch
most of the
right
world
there.
lives. Yes.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
And so with 2024, right? Like we've been talking, it's been a damn good year for music. If you had to pick like 1 or 2 records that you think are like the top peak
Um,
2024, what would you say?
uh-oh. Hang on one sec.
I love all the flashing lights.
Well, I have to consult the records. I can't fucking remember any of them is the problem. Um, oh man, you're not gonna like my answer. I mean, you know, I think I have the syndrome where I like, I just, I'm too absorbed in like the current context to like really enjoy anything uh for purely what it is, It's
Uh-huh.
it's a really bad habit of mine, I'm always just like, oh, this is trying to do this is trying to be this is trying to do that, this is being this boring because of this reason. Whereas that's kind of what all music is all the time. It's just I didn't know, you don't exactly know what is in vogue 50
Mhm.
years ago in quite the same uh, way that you do now. So, a lot of stuff I listen to it and I just hate it. It sounds like bullshit. And uh, that's like almost everything I listen to now, seriously. That being said, there are definitely still really good albums coming out, really creative albums. Have you heard of Fievel is Glock?
No, what a devious name. I need to write that down. Feeblest
It's kind of
Glock.
weird. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. It's sort of a they're a Brooklyn band that I think is pretty underrated. They have a really cool production style that's like very it's kind of like Guided by Voices meets Stereolab or something like that. It's these very short, very sort of lounge pop, noisy little songs, and it's really charming. And I love their albums usually. I think they're really cool. I'll let me just show you the name so that because it's hard to.
Hmm.
This is
Appreciate it. Yeah. Sick.
and sorry, I'm thinking about this.
No, man, take your time.
Honestly, honestly, the Zach Bryan album was pretty good. If I may say so myself.
Yeah.
Uh, I thought the new Laura Marling surprised me from how much I liked it. I really liked the production on that. Um, I liked Brad a lot. I'll say it.
They're gonna like hunt
Uh,
you down. Brat was like actually good, no matter how like dumb the memes were and everything. I was talking to Lucas about that because like his bass has Brat written on it. Like he has a
oh
lime green.
yeah,
I think he specifically ordered a Brat bass, but he got it before Brat, and like it's good. Like I know it's dumb, and I know everyone's making these dumb like Charlie XCX jokes, but it's funny. But like it's a good album. It's a dancey, fun album, no matter. And like the Zach Bryan, I'm not gonna lie. Zach Bryan is kind of like if I want to listen to country, I'm gonna listen to Luke Bryan and like the really corny like one margarita, two margarita, like that kind of
yeah,
dumb
sure.
stuff.
Shabuzi. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I okay, no hate to Shibuzi, but how did this guy get like I know PR shit. How did he get a PR contract with literally like one of the biggest PR companies? I do not get it. Like
He had a hit, man. He had a fucking hit song. One
one
to the two to the
hit.
three to the four. Then about another round, we need plenty more. I'm a numb on a mile. Oh my good Lord.
I mean, you
Come
low-key
on.
got the voice for it.
Undeniable.
Yeah, well, my brother came home singing it one day, and I was like, "This is the state of the, public education in the United States, huh?" I mean, it's decent. I think Zach Bryan is like really good, or not really good, but like decent in that field. And
Mm-hmm.
like I said, Charlie X, it's a bot, man. Have you heard of Jamie XX?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, dude, his new album is like fire. Like it is really good, really dancey, really fun. Um, And as much as me and my ELA teacher like to have music discourse, and our like running joke has been Jordy Creep, just because of his Loki's the name is like so like out there, and he's got like the monkey, like his thing is a monkey, which makes it even worse. But the Jordy Creep album is so good. Like it is a really crazy like psychopath. It's almost like the innards of someone who has like every hyperactive disorder known to man. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it's great. Like it's a really good album. But I'm
Yeah,
glad
the
you're
Dirty
listening
Greek album, it's cool. It's definitely cool. I mean, it's
for
like
sure.
I mean, mo more than like enjoying listening to it, I more just respect it as something that exists, you know? Like no one does that. Just no one does that because no one can or will.
Everyone's too scared, man.
So people that do, I'm just like, good, you know, at least someone's doing it. That being said, um, there are parts of it that are just that I can't stand, you know, just because I don't know, just because how I'm wired. I don't know, just it's like that what's that song, Terra,
Yeah,
where
yeah,
those actors like Terra, Terra. You know, it's maybe it's just because it's so close to what I do like, but like it has that uncanny valley thing that where I'm just
yeah,
like, I can't accept this, you know. And also because I guess I hold Greep and his whole thing to like a higher standard or something, just because, you know, he is, you know, on such a different level than most people at this point.
yeah, yeah.
So I don't know. I really liked it though. I did really like it. I thought it was very cool.
It's like your album, Heavy Metal, where it's kind of like it's not a collection of songs. It's like an item. almost like a pen or something. It's its own invaluable thing. And I don't know, I know it's really unhinged at some points, like where the Georgia Group album kind of on that song "Holy Holy," which is always stuck in my head at the end, where he goes ballistic and it's like everything's out and he's just going crazy and he's saying random
Yeah.
stuff and he's really down bad for this random person and he's just kind of all putting out there. Like it is so good, but it's also so out there. Like my mom, I think my mom would rip out her ears if she was forced to listen to that at least once, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And my
Mm-hmm.
dad could probably stand it, but that's dad's.
That's,
Um, but I think
I think,
I think it's been
sorry,
good.
sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm saying I think 2024 has been very good, very good to me.
I'm glad, I think so too. I think music is best appreciated from the future, preferably the far future. Uh, because, just in the moment, everyone's too confused. Everyone's too suspicious to like really appreciate what people are doing. People are too Most of the classic albums too, when you read about them, very, very few classic albums are considered really good the moment they're released. Very, very few. Like, I was reading about Blonde on Blonde, the Bob Dylan album today, which everyone's like, oh, that's so good. When it came out, people were like, this is cool. It's like the third one in the last 2 years, where's the next one? And it was only like 20, 30 years later that people started to look back and be like, okay, this one's kind of special compared to the other ones. And it's like that with books too, like Moby Dick was fucking, no one knew what it was until like 70 years after it was published, is when got, it became the classic, like fucking legendary book that it is considered today. All sorts of things are like that. People
Yeah,
just are too, when it's considered a relic and the people who wrote it are dead and they have nothing to gain from it anymore, and it just stands, it gains this sort of pure art feeling where you're just like it only exists for itself now. It has none of that. Nobody's hovering over it trying to make money out of it, or shoving it in your face or putting it in a newspaper. It just is what it is. It exists untouchable in the
exactly.
past.
And it's kind of like a myth, like a legend, you know? Like it gives Aztec or Egyptian vibes where it's a different world in a different little environment where everyone, it's like a whole other thing. And that's super cool. And I hope that the cherry picked albums that most people deserve, I really hope that they go down and live on, and I think also if you're in the position where you can get albums early, if it's through leaks before all the hype comes, or if it's like from my perspective when people just send them,
Hmm.
if like when you listen down beforehand, like I bet after your album gets released and what next week, and everyone starts talking about it and it gets, it gets placed on like the top of rate your music and everything, it'll have
I
a
don't know
whole other
about
thing.
that.
Man, I know it's like every musical nerd like joke album will always hit the top and then kind of go back to its place. But mark my words, man, I know it will. It's gonna be up there
Yeah,
at
maybe for
least.
1 week it'll be way up there.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sure
yeah.
it won't be like in the pits or anything, but
No, I think it's
just
really
because
good.
that's who I am is one of these people who fucking scrawls rate your music and is a huge nerd.
Yeah, but it's cool that like musicians are more in tune to the audiences than maybe ever in this day and age where we can communicate and fans can talk to each other and you're just like as much of a nerd as I am when it comes to this kind of stuff, which is very
Mhm.
motivating. Like you're a real guy, you're tangible. There are off days, there are good days, and that's
Mhm.
helpful. I hate these people, these PR figures that stand to show the best parts of man and how perfect and pretty we are. Like the Will Smith
Mhm.
thing, like it's gonna go to shit if you keep up this fake charade, it's gonna go to shit one way or another. And if you're just like a dude that has some off days, that's so much better than a guy pretending to be something he's not. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, and what I've realized, a lot of people think of, especially nerds who are down in the dumps, they're just like, oh, it's so easy to sell out. It's so easy to be like a pop star and just like do it and sell out. Like I could do that if I wanted to, but I'm gonna be poor and make this other kind of music. Meanwhile, I would not last a day as a one of those people who like a Taylor Swift or even a less, like a Harry Styles where they have to, no matter how they're feeling, they have to hit their fucking mark and get out there and fucking completely their art, requires them to deliver a product exactly as people want it consistently. Amazon didn't make $1 billion from delivering shit late. But they didn't, it's not about how they feel about it. It's not about anything like that. And th that's what people want most of the time, or that's what people take for emotion a lot of the time, or whatever you call it. I could not do that. I could not get out there and just like fake it. I would f not last a fucking day. I don't know how they do it. It's insane. It's a crazy price to pay, in my opinion.
It's too
That
much of a price to pay, and you're like confined, and you can't say whatever you want to say. And like friend groups, you always have these really bad pictures of each other. You always have these like screenshots of people saying stuff they should be saying. If you're that big, that could take you down, So
yeah.
not being out, that's like the fun is out of your life. The happiness
Hmm.
is to an extent gone. Everyone's always staring at you, looking at what to do. I mean, like if one of us, like if Jordy Group was Taylor Swift, that I would like that because then all of humanity would go to chaos, and we'd all be, as Viagra Boys put it best, we'd all be returning to monkey. So
Hmm.
that's, maybe we need a revolution, man. But I really enjoyed this conversation, dude. Like we were talking about how I will never pay for these music. I won't pay for IMDb Pro, whatever. I don't pay for Zoom, so it cuts me
I
off after
noticed
40
in the
minutes. Yeah,
timer
man.
recorder, it's
Yeah, it's kind of
endearing.
ominous, but it makes me get everything out I need to say. And
Hmm.
I think it keeps everything nice and short and sweet as it can be. But I hope you really enjoyed this, man. I know I did. I can't wait for you to come back to Atlanta. I think you came in like, a year ago or 2 years ago. For whatever reason, I hope you come back and we can get together and whatever, man. And if you need any violins, hit me up, man. I got you.
Sure thing, sure thing. Well, thanks for
Hell
having
yeah.
me on. You're a bright kid with a bright future,
Thank you,
and
man.
I hope to see you around sometime on tour,
Yes,
maybe.
sir. For sure. I would love that. I'm gonna go get some chilies now. So you have a good night, man.
All right, you too. Enjoy your chilies.
Thank you.